Hey guys, TommyBoy601, and today we're going to be taking a look at the two new operators, and I'll be reviewing them for you guys. So let's go ahead and dive right into the two new operators for Rainbow Six Siege. Now, these two new operators are going to be from the Special Assault Team of the Japanese Police Force, and the first one we're going to be talking about is the operator named Hibana. She is a 1 armor, 3 speed operator. She is on the attacking side. Her primary weapons include the Type 89 assault rifle and the Benelli Supernova shotgun. The Type 89 has a 850 rounds per minute with a tiny magazine of 20 rounds plus 1 in the chamber. It has the ability to equip pretty much all the sights, you know, the red dot, the hollow, the ACOG, and the reflex. On the barrel, it can equip the suppressor, the flash hider, the compensator, and the muzzle brake. It can equip either of the grips, and of course, like most guns in this game, it does have the ability to have that laser on there. Now, with this new season of the game, the developers kind of realized something. They're like, wait a minute. We make all these camos, and really, there's only 2 of them that actually people usually do or pick up, or like there's only usually like 2 really good ones. And instead of focusing their efforts on making a ton of camos for these new guns, like unique camos, they've actually made 2 for all of the SAT weapons, and I really like it because you can definitely tell that there's a lot more care and love put into these 2 camos as opposed to spreading it out over like 8 or 10 different camos. So for the Type 89, we have the Ka and the Sandstorm. Now, the Ka is part of a themed bundle that you can purchase for all the SAT weapons. It's called the SAT Elemental Bundle, and it can be purchased for 22,250 renown or 594 Rainbow Six credits. When you purchase this bundle, you also receive an exclusive charm that is a universal charm. And I have to say, these Elemental Bundle skins are really cool. I really like them. They're basically like, if you've ever seen like the sheath of a katana, like that, or samurai armor, like that kind of craftsmanship and like really cool attention to detail, but then applied all over some of these weapons, and I really like it. The first one for the Type 89 is the Ka, and it will cost, much like any of the other unique camos for the SAT, it will cost 6,750 renown, and the second camo we get is the Sandstorm camo, which gives the gun kind of like a fighter jet look is the best way to describe it. It's really cool. It kind of reminds me of a Saber fighter. Like, it's really cool. I really like it. On the other side, she does have the primary weapon of the Supernova shotgun. It is like a standard pump action shotgun. It holds 7 rounds in total, and its pump speed is similar to the SAS's M590A1. And just like the M590A1, it can equip the red dot, the holographic, or the reflex sight, and it has the underbarrel attachment of the laser sight. The unique camos for this weapon are the Sioux and the Rapscallion. The Sioux, of course, part of that Elemental Bundle, and the Rapscallion giving it like a pirate look. And I really like this one. I'll probably end up purchasing it, even though I have no intention of using the Supernova. I just like to look at this camo, and it looks pretty cool. Now, the SAT do share secondary weapons. They share the P229 handgun and the Bearing 9 submachine gun. The P229 is a higher damage handgun with a capacity of 12 in the magazine plus 1 in the chamber. It can equip either the suppressor or the muzzle brake with an underbarrel attachment of the laser. The unique camos for this, the Moku camo, which again is that Elemental Bundle, and the Tentacles camo, which is like a cyberpunk kind of camo. It's purple and really cool, and you know, if you're into like cyberpunk, I think it really goes well with Echo as far as his whole theming goes, and I like it. The other sidearm though is probably going to be one you're going to be rocking because it might just be the best sidearm in the game. This is the Bearing 9. It's a machine pistol based off the Mine Bay PM9, which itself is another weapon that is based off the Israeli Uzi. Basically, in the game, the Bearing 9 functions just like the SMG-11. It does the same damage rating of 32, but has a fire rate of 1,100 rounds. It's a little bit under what the SMG-11 provides. However, it does have a 25 round magazine, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. One of Hibana's primary weapons doesn't even have that many rounds in its magazine. The weapon can equip either a red dot or a reflex sight. On the barrel, you can put a suppressor, a flash hider, or a compensator, and of course, you can always equip that laser. The unique camos for this weapon are the Kin and the Safety Orange. Now, Hibana's default gadgets are going to be the stun grenade and the claymore, with her unique gadget being the X-Kairos launcher. Now, the best way to describe the X-Kairos is if Thermite and Ash's gadgets had a baby. Hibana is able to launch 6 discs at a regular or a reinforced wall and break open a sizable rectangle in them. She has the ability to do this 3 times during a round. 2 of those charges will open up a hole that is large enough for an operator to get through, though most of the time you're probably going to have to crouch to get through that hole, or if you use all 3, it'll blow open like a sizable Thermite-sized hole. When you're aiming her gadget, a red box does appear on the wall to let you know where the discs will land, like what size rectangle it's going to be. But this red box can be seen by both friends and foes. Basically, anyone in the game can also see this giant red laser painting you're putting up. So do be careful when you are close to the objective, or you may be in an area that could give up your position. The charges can be countered by either bandit batteries or Mute's jammer. Cannot, though, do the bandit trick of, oh, I hear it, let me put a bandit battery on the wall to destroy it. It does not work like that. It will still blow through that reinforced wall. Overall, Kairos is actually a great word to describe Hibana. Kairos is an ancient Greek word meaning right or opportune moment, and that's the best way to describe Hibana overall. When your team is assaulting a room from one direction, Hibana has the speed and the ability to flank to a different angle and open up the room or a murder hole to take out enemies that are pretty well entrenched. She also has that ability to open up a regular breach into a wall, meaning you no longer are dependent on a thermite to stay alive to get into the objective room. I am really liking Hibana. I think right now she's well balanced in the way that her weapon, because of its high rate of fire and its low magazine size, mean you're going to be going through that pretty quickly, so you may only be able to take out one or two enemies. I recommend Hibana for players who know maps well and who know how to make holes to get to enemies and their hiding spots. That's Hibana's strength, and I can see her being a pretty much must pick going forward in the meta. On the other side of the coin, we do have the defensive operator, who is named Echo. Now, he's pretty much the exact opposite of Hibana. He is a 3 armor, 1 speed operator. His primary weapons include the Benelli Supernova and the MP5 SD. We won't talk about the Benelli Supernova for him because we've already talked about it in this video, but we will talk about the MP5 SD. It has an integrated suppressor with a rounds per minute of 800, and it has 30 rounds in the magazine, so it's pretty much like every other MP5. But that is not a bad thing because the MP5 is a fantastic weapon. It has the ability to equip the red dot, the hollow, the reflex, and of course the ACOG sight, meaning he's another defensive operator that gets an ACOG sight, which is always welcome. This MP5 can equip either of the grips, that being the vertical or the angled, and it of course has the ability to equip a laser. The unique camos for this gun include the Doe, or the Do, and the Tribunal. The Tribunal kind of reminds me of a carnival. Like, it looks like it's the paint job that would go on a carnival game, which isn't what I think about when I think of a Tribunal, but hey, whatever, it looks pretty cool. His default gadgets include the Deployal Shield and the Barbed Wire, with his unique gadget being the Yokai Drone. Now, Yokai is a Japanese word for ghost, phantom, or strain apparition, and that is what this drone is pretty much. First off, it's the first drone we get as the defenders, which is awesome. We finally have an ability to kind of counter drone, and once all of the cameras have been knocked out, a way to kind of do some counter surveillance and find out where the enemy is coming from or what they are doing. This is a flying drone, though it doesn't really operate like a flying drone would. Basically, it hovers at about the height a regular drone would, and it goes around the ground. And then when you want it to, it can hop up to the roof, and it attaches itself to the roof, and then it cloaks, like it goes invisible. The drone has the ability to act as an additional camera for Echo, both when he's alive or when he's dead. Teammates do not have the ability to view this camera, and you cannot tag on this camera. However, this is really useful if you die and you ended up leaving your drone in a key area, like the main hallway that a team likes to assault from, or you know those locations where a lot of people like to funnel through. You are able to give your team callouts from a camera that the enemy team can't see. It's fantastic. Now, once it's attached to the roof, the drone also has an additional ability to fire what can be best described as a sonic cannon. The shot from that sonic cannon is very slow, and it does not have a very large area of effect. You have about 3 shots and it can recharge over time. However, it's going to take a long time. We're talking 30 to 45 seconds to recharge a single shot. So you pretty much have about 3 shots for a round. After that, it's definitely going to be all used up, most likely for the game, just based on the pace of how this game usually plays out. If you hit a player, whether that be a friend or a foe, the player's screen goes all wibbly wobbly. And imagine if you remember like how the most drunk you've ever been. Yeah, it's pretty much like that. Like the world spins and it is not fun. The length of this effect can be shortened if you're standing still, or it can be lengthened if you attempt to move out of the way. So basically, if you sit there and accept your fate, you might be able to fight someone off, or if you try to run away, you're going to have a rougher and rougher time. Echo is definitely a welcomed addition to this game. All of the other DLC operators have been roaming operators, ones that, while I enjoy playing as, it's definitely welcome to see someone who is designed more of someone to stick around the objective. And I think he kind of falls into a different kind of category. The best way to describe Echo is, I think of him as being a defending operator that sits one room outside of the objective. Basically, he's there to ambush enemies who are about to attack the objective room. He finds the little hole that you can kind of squirrel into, uses the drone to know the best opportune time to come out, disorient the enemy, and then try to take them out before they can assault the objective room. Echo is also an operator that is extremely beneficial from having voice communication with your teammates. You can plan and basically tell your teammates when they need to do a counter-strike, when they need to go out and push the attackers because you've got them disoriented or you know exactly where they are going. Overall, I don't know if Echo will become a must-pick in the future. He does have a pretty easy counter with IQ's ability to scan gadgets, and of course the drone will show up no matter what, even when it is cloaked through IQ's gadget. I can definitely see him being picked a lot more than some of the defensive operators. Overall, guys, that is my review of these two operators. What did you think? Let me know down in the comments below. Guys, my name's TommyBoy601. I hope you have a great rest of your day. See ya.